Hello, my name is Hellina Nigatu, and today I'm going to talk about our project titled Low-Resource Languages and Online Knowledge Repositories, a Need-Finding Study. This is work done in collaboration with my advisors, Professor John Canny and Professor Sarah Chasins. I first want to acknowledge why I'm giving this talk virtually. CHI 2024 is held in Hawaii, and I follow suggestions and guidelines from Professor Hosea Hester, available on the displayed link to minimize my negative impact to the Native Hawaiian community and their land, including opting to give this talk virtually. I will now start my talk with a bit of a motivation. I'm sure most of you here are aware of Wikipedia. It's a free encyclopedia available in over 300 languages and has over 191 million articles in total. And the vision statement for Wikipedia is to be a platform where every single person on the planet is given free access to the sum of all human knowledge. But despite this vision, not all languages are represented the same. Particularly, low-resource languages lack in terms of quantity. There are 304 articles on Tigrinya Wikipedia compared to over 650,000 in Arabic. There's also an alarmingly low number of new articles per day and active editor count for low-resource languages as compared to their higher resourced counterparts. Low-resource language Wikipedia also suffers in terms of quality. First, we see a screenshot of an article in Tigrinya Wikipedia with the title History that has one word, the name of an individual. The second screenshot shows an Amharic Wikipedia article for the title Ethiopian History, which is one long sentence describing the location of a town in the Tigray region. Zooming out, we see that most articles in low-resource languages have just one sentence, indicated by the peak in their respective graphs. For comparison, we observe Arabic has a peak at around 10 sentences. We also observe that for low-resource languages, maximum number of sentences per article is in the tens or hundreds, while for Arabic, it's in the thousands and 10,000s. Low-resource language Wikipedia also have relevance issues. Here's a screenshot of an article on the main page of Amharic Wikipedia, which is about the Big Mac burger, although there's no McDonald's restaurant in Ethiopia at the time of recording this talk. While an article about a famous Ethiopian community, Auramba, is available in 6 languages, none of which are Ethiopian. Overall, we observe that low-resource language Wikipedia suffer in terms of quantity, quality, and relevance. Hence, we ask the question, what challenges do low-resource language contributors face when interacting with online knowledge repositories? To answer our research question, we conducted 2 studies. In Study 1, we collected forum discussion data from 3 low-resource language Wikipedias and used inductive thematic analysis to understand challenges discussed by Wikipedia contributors. Since contribution in these languages is low, we conducted a contextual inquiry study with 14 novice contributors to understand the barriers to entry in this space. When we conducted these studies, we went in thinking we're going to find out exactly what is wrong with Wikipedia for these languages. It turns out that the barriers are due to distinct but interacting challenges spanning Wikipedia's interface, language support tools, and social-political challenges. Let's start with Wikipedia's interface challenges. We observed that Wikipedia interface would sometimes have instructions mixed in local languages and English. For instance, in this screenshot with one of our participants, the permission error says you are not allowed to create this page due to the following reasons in Tigrinya and proceeds to list the reasons in English. We also observe users struggle to read and write in non-Latin script on the Wikipedia interface. In this dialogue, the designer is responding to complaints that the Amharic font is bold. The designer acknowledges that they cannot read Amharic, but that the font does not come with a bold variant. However, when user explains the font appears to be bold and that it is distracting, they try to simulate their interaction by explaining how it feels like reading a whole English essay in bold font. Another user explains that the font is difficult to read for small-sized text, like the ones used for an actual article, and that when there are numbers, they appear smaller than the surrounding text. Another challenge we observe with the Wikipedia interface is that of misspellings and different spellings leading to duplicate articles. In Amharic Wikipedia, the surface is in the form of several characters that represent the same sound being used to spell the same word in different ways. As one poster complains, there are 182 different ways of writing as Haile Selassie, the name of an Ethiopian king. In Afan Oromo, different spellings due to differences across dialects, for instance, or entirely wrong misspellings lead to duplicate articles. This leads to users not being able to find articles when they search, and wastes editors' time identifying and removing duplicate articles. Let's now move on to challenges with language support tools. We observed several challenges with users trying to write articles in non-Latin script. In this screenshot, one of our participants is using an Amharic keyboard on his phone to write an Amharic article. He switches his keyboard to English in order to write an English word in parentheses, but then he forgets to switch his keyboard back and proceeds to write Amharic with Latin characters. When he realizes what he is doing, he erases the Amharic text with Latin characters, switches his keyboard back, and writes with Ge'ez letters. The second language support tool we'll highlight is machine translation. Here we show a screenshot of one of our participants using Google Translate to translate an English paragraph about a Muslim Ethiopian ruler into Amharic. There are a few errors in this translation, but we'll highlight two of them. First, we note that the translation simply copies over the year the ruler came into power without indicating what calendar system it is in or doing a conversion. Without the context that this came from an English text or indication of the calendar system, the Amharic text would be off by about 7 years, since the default would be the Ethiopian calendar. Second, the translation for Mahfuz, who wedded his daughter to him, was literally translated to the ruler marrying his own daughter. A mistranslation, our participant indicated fearing, would have negative connotations considering the ruler is Muslim. Finally, let us talk about social political issues. We observed a set of social political challenges, from financial barriers to issues with accessing and finding scholarly resources. In our contextual inquiry study, we observed that resources pertaining to communities our participants wanted to write about were not available. Here, one participant exclaims, "We have nothing. We don't even have suggestions," after attempting to edit articles related to African leaders in Tigrinya Wikipedia and being told there are no suggestions for that category. Or in other cases, the resources that exist are not in the local language and are usually written by Western scholars, mostly having roots set in colonial viewpoints. "See, it's the heralds of the world," exclaimed one participant, scrolling down the list of references in a Wikipedia article about an Ethiopian king. Related to the availability of resources is the challenge our participants face when trying to find resources in their local languages. Here, one participant is trying to edit an article on Amharic Wikipedia. The title translates to Ethiopian history, and there's a single long sentence about a town called Sazat in the Tigray region of the country. The participant first searched on Google the name of the town in Amharic, followed by English name of the town and the region it is in. Google's top result was a news article about the war in the Tigray region, and the People Also Asked section included questions related to the war. What is not in the result is the name of the town the participant is searching for. Next, the participant removed the English description and only searched for the name of the town in Amharic. Now the top result is a YouTube video with a description that has a word that sounds like the name of the town but has completely unrelated meaning. The YouTube video description translates to "a wife who appeals to me when I look at her and obeys my orders." Next, the participant searched for the name of the town, followed by the region and direction of the town, all in Amharic. He got a no results found page. Then he copied over the description from the Wikipedia article he was trying to edit. He again got a no results found page. At this point, the participant gave up and changed the topic of his article. A third subtheme in relation to resources is financial barriers to publishing and accessing scholarly work about and by the communities. As one participant, a lecturer at an Ethiopian university, pointed out, there are books and resources that they cannot access due to paywalls. I'm going to summarize our findings with this timeline of one of our participants. This participant creates an account on Tigrinya Wikipedia and is unable to get his Ge'ez keyboard to work. Once he's on the main page of Wikipedia, he follows a link to a page that does not exist. He tries to edit the article, but he still cannot get his keyboard to work. So he decides to restart his computer and takes a decent amount of time before he can log back in and be back on the main page of Wikipedia. At this point, he is told that his IP address is blocked. He realizes this might be because of his connection to a VPN service, so he disconnects from the VPN, which in turn disconnects him from the internet. He reconnects back to the internet and finds an article that is a stub and tries to edit. He is again told that his IP address is blocked. Now he decides he's going to write the article on Microsoft Word and copy back to Wikipedia once he's done. When he finishes his article and tries to copy back, he is again told that his IP address is blocked. Throughout the session, the participant struggled with getting his keyboard to work with the Wikipedia interface, indicating challenges with language support tools. He was stuck trying to edit stubs and links to pages that do not exist on Wikipedia, and had problems with Wikipedia's cybersecurity flags leading to IP blocked notices. Which leads us to the third set of challenges. The IP was blocked due to the participant using VPN services. He was using VPN because certain platforms like YouTube were blocked in Ethiopia at the time of the session due to political issues, bringing us to the social-political challenges editors face when trying to edit in these languages. With all these interacting challenges, this participant was not able to complete his article in this session. In this presentation, we have covered the challenges that low-resource languages speakers face when trying to write articles in their languages. I would like to add to this talk a question we had grappled with while working on this project. What if the reason that these languages do not have data available on Wikipedia, or even the internet more generally, is because they simply do not want their data on there? This is a especially crucial question to reflect on, as the knowledge of these communities has historically been exploited throughout the years. We argue in this work that it should be the choice of the communities and not our design shortcomings that make this decision for them. Our work shows, even if community members wanted to write in their languages, several interacting challenges prevent them from doing so. I will end this talk with a quote from Ruha Benjamin. Technology succeeds by excluding some groups from taking part in its design, intent, implementation, and results. Thank you, and please read the paper for more details, including some of our design recommendations.